Okay. So this is Jackson, home partner, your hustling homie, the underdog of the decade. And I want to talk to you about the power of your pricing when you're an entrepreneur and you're trying to create your prices and how much is you charge. I'm gonna tell you this, regardless of what business that you're in, I'm one thing I've seen that's consistent with me in business is that the lower your prices, the broker people that you attract, right? The lower your prices, sometimes what happens is the less people will appreciate your product and what you do. And it also works in reverse. Sometimes the higher your prices, the more expensive you are. You attract a different type of person, a different type of client, and those clients tend to complain the least. And so I've noticed that to be very, very consistent. That's a very consistent thing. Is that people who don't pay but they want everything, they also that's a big red flag. So I'm going to show you how to identify some clients that you may want to avoid, and then we're going to just talk just in general about like how should you set up your pricing. But before we go into that, I'm just going to give you some examples. So I remember I was doing a lot of recording engineering in the studio, and I vividly can remember. Um, it seems as though the clients that paid me the least, like my studio rate, I was in the studio where when I was working with another company, we were charging $300 per hour, okay, to record music. So I left that studio. This was a huge studio, a multi-million-dollar studio south on the South Loop, Chicago. It's called Pressure Point Recording Studios. Now, we went from there and I started doing recording from home. So I lowered my prices. I hadn't been recording for a while, so my rate was only at $50 per hour. And so, you have certain friends and family and friend of friends that come around. They say they want to record. I made the mistake of giving them a discount. Do not give your people discounts. Don't, especially not friends and family. The people that you help out the most are going to be the ones that appreciate you the least. I had my all of my clients. I had one client I looked out for, and this was consistent. This client, I would charge him $15 per hour, and it got so disrespectful to the point where he would come. It was a few times he came to the studio, and the drill was you come to the studio, you put down a deposit. At the end of the session, you pay whatever your remaining balance is. So if you owe $30, you put a $15 deposit to book the time. Once we're done recording, you give me the other $15. $30 you're paid in full. So he will come to the studio. I'm giving it to him for $15 an hour. He would tell me at the end of the session, "Oh, you know what? I don't even have my money. Can I pay you the money on payday?" What? Hold on, you don't have the money. Like, well, why would you even book it? Why would you not at least express this to me? So now I have to snap, and I got to go in on this guy and telling him that this is unacceptable. And now in the future, if we do any business, now I'm going to have to charge you double. I can no longer give you a discount. He comes back 2, 3 weeks later. He pays me the balance in quarters. This isn't even I'm not saying this, to disparage the guy. I'm not saying this to crack jokes, but what happened is, so after we record like 5 different songs, and what happened is, he told me, he said, "You know what? I'll let music record it." I deleted it all. It just sounds terrible, man. Do you have some better equipment? Because that music was terrible. Hold on, this is the same guy that it took him 2 weeks to pay $30 in quarters, and he's telling me it was terrible. I've never had a client tell me my stuff was terrible. He said it was terrible. I have another client who was paying me the $50 rate, and this guy told me, he said, "Man, this is some of the best music I've ever heard in terms of the quality." So it's a different mindset that you're gonna be dealing with when you're dealing with people at different price levels. So I encourage you, when you're setting up your pricing, um, to try to be very aware of who you attracting. Are you trying to get as many clients as possible? And so you're trying to go cheap, but understand when you go cheap, you're going to deal with problems from cheap people. You're going to deal with people complaining, people being late. That's another thing about the guy that was paying $15 an hour. He would show up late, and I would tell him, I'm gonna have to cancel your session, but he would continuously show up late. You're going to get that type of stuff when you're dealing with broke people. The people that's spending more money, a lot of times they're more prompt. They showing up on time. They're taking it more serious. So you want to attract people who have more money, because then they're going to refer people. I want you to keep this in mind. Most business is all about referrals, and people that pay the premium, they're going to refer other people who also want to pay the premium. People that are broke that don't want to pay anything are going to also refer other people who don't want to pay anything. So you got to be very aware of who you're dealing with, and when you're creating your prices. So I would encourage you. Now you may be afraid. You like, you might be saying that you don't want to charge like the super premium, because you're probably afraid. You got to get over that. Don't be afraid. I can understand. Or if you're broke and you're like, look, I just need some money immediately. Look, I get it if you just need some money immediately, but you need to set up some sort of promotion. Even the people that are getting a discount, whatever, if you get a discount rate, let people know, hey, this is a temporary promotion, and in order to get this promotion, you also maybe need to refer me to clients, as well as give me a testimony and say how much you really enjoyed the service. So that way they're still compensating and it's worth it, versus you just at the end of the day, because if you're just working just to pay your rent at any business, ultimately you're not going to put the best work into it. You're going to feel bad as you're recording it or doing whatever the service it is. You're going to feel bad about it, and at the end of the day, that's not good for anyone, because you're not happy, they're not happy, and at the end of the day, they're going to be spreading negativity about your business, even if you did a great job, because it's something about people that don't pay a lot. They just don't appreciate things, and they don't take it serious. So I would definitely encourage you, as you creating your prices, maybe you want to have, um, what I have found is, you want to set up your pricing in a way where you are targeting, like, you maybe have three different rates. So you have your ultimate rate is, who your ideal client is, the type of person that you really want to work it with, and that's going to pay you what you really want. Put that price out there. Now, for those people who can't afford it, then what you do, if you know that maybe it's too expensive for other people, you do maybe some type of subscription service, and you tell them, well, hell, if you can't afford me at $300, whatever, per time we meet, then what I can give you a monthly rate. That if you pay, you do a discount, you do, let's say, uh, 20 to 30% off, but they got to pay that every single month. And and you just said by times 12 months, and now you just give them a total that they got to pay, and then they get a 12-month subscription. And maybe you can only meet them on certain days, like on your off days or not busy days. um so I just want to put that out there, man. So you can break it down how you want to. I'll do another video where I go into detail and really breaking down some numbers and some examples. I just wanted to tell you this while it was on my mind, because it's important. A lot of people are suffering. Entrepreneurs, you're trying to figure out what should you charge, and you're charging the least amount, and then you can, a lot of times you can compare yourself to the rest of the market to see what people are paying, but and that's good too. But you also want to know your value and what would make you happy. Because at the end of the day, you have to pay your bills, and even if your price is a little bit more than the rest of the market, find ways where you can add more value. Um, and that's ultimately it. Find more ways you can add value that make you justify that price. But at the end of the day, you gotta dictate your price, and then you'll get it. If you believe in it, people will pay you. At the end of the day, people will pay you. And if they can't, and you gotta lower it, then um, that's something. Look, you got to step up your ability to sell yourself and just show people your value. Because most people that are really about good quality and good stuff, they're not making their decisions everything based on price. They want quality anyway. So you gotta give them above and beyond what they're looking for. So I just want to share that with you. Avoid, man, dealing with the broke folks, because it will be a headache, and then you'll find yourself going over redoing a job 3 or 4 times, and at the end of the day they're still not happy. You can't please them. So with that being said, subscribe to the page. Yeah, I'm Jackson 360, your platform partner, hustling homie, all about action, making things happen. Make sure you click on the links in the description, subscribe into the schools and the programs that we have available